and welcome to this natural video, and one in which we meet the supplier. And I'm delighted to be joined by international wellness advocate Sophie Benge. Now, Sophie, as well as being an international wellness advocate, you're a storyteller because your business is as a result of travel, thinking, lots of conversations. And while you were traveling, you discovered mud in Hungary. So why Hungarian mud? How does it differ from the mud that we find in the UK and my allotment, for example?
Well, in Central Europe particularly, and that's due to the geological history of that continent, there is a lot of very mineral-rich mud, and it has been used as a healing modality, a natural resource for healing for centuries, and different countries have different types of healing mud with different constituencies, and it's used for different purposes. So there's two main muds really. There's peat mud and mineral mud, and peat mud is really rotting vegetation over centuries, so the more microbes the better, and you can find a lot of that in the Baltic region, and there's all sorts of very interesting ways in how that is used in health, if you would like to ask. And then in Hungary, the mud that I have chosen to work with, it's a mineral mud. So it comes from an alluvial plain from millennia ago. So it has been sitting underground, a bit like Himalayan salt. It's very pure. It's been underground for centuries on an alluvial plain, actually, and it was discovered 200 years ago, and there's quite a good story about how it was discovered and how it went to the medical spas of Budapest as a healing treatment.
So do share how it was found, and I'm wondering if that mud is what I put on my body and my face when I went to the Gellert spa in Hungary.
It is. It's the very same, Sarah. So about in the 19th century, some villagers and farmers about 200 miles from Budapest realized that their cattle and livestock was more fertile than their neighbors. They realized that they never got sick, whereas the neighboring villages, they were always beset with ailments. And they thought, wow, what is it then about? It must be our water and our land. They called some geologists in from the capital who came and did a study of their water and their land and found out how healing it was, how rich and effective it was. So they immediately built a spa there, and even to this day there is half a bath left where they in this rural outpost where they built a spa. And these geologists and got in touch with doctors, and so the story went, and they thought, well, this is magic stuff. They took it back to Budapest, which has had spas since the Roman times, so there's a real history of bathing there, and they incorporated it into their treatments along with the mineral waters that are very rich in Budapest. They used this mud that was found, as I said to you.
So you're a real advocate of this mud that was found in Hungary. But if I was a Hungarian and I had this wonderful resource that I could monetize, I wouldn't want to be sharing it or even selling it to anybody else. So I'm just wondering what it was, what the secret sauce is in terms of the relationships you've built up. Why are they allowing you to bring it over to the UK? What hoops did you have to go through?
It's always about knowing people.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you are completely trustworthy, particularly as I've been on your website and I can see what it is that you are doing for the well-being of the nation, which we will come on to. But should Hungarian mud be part of a weekly skincare regime?
Well, what I say is there's no science. People just love to be told what to do in all aspects of our life. We want to be told. We outsource our responsibility to others. So with this, it's a wholly natural product. you can use it when you want to use it. Weekly, perfect. If you're too busy, don't use it weekly. If you've got time and you actually notice, which you will, how the effect it has on your skin, use it more often.
So
it's not going to be detrimental. Natural resources never really are.
So I'm a lady of a certain age. I'm in my 6th decade, and I have, you know, typical T-zone skin, which is getting thinner and drier. So would it be good for me?
Yes, it would, Sarah. I'll tell you how it works. Because of its synergistic blend of minerals and its very rich mineral content, this mineral blend stimulates the blood flow. So it is absorbed into deeper layers of tissue, where it stimulates the blood flow, and it brings it to the surface of the skin to affect the microcirculation. So anyone's skin is better with microcirculation. I mean, it's like massage. It's like using the gua sha tools that are so popular now, those Chinese gua sha tools. It brings out toxins, it pulls out toxins like all muds and clays do, and the minerals are absorbed into the skin, stimulates the blood flow, brings it to the surface of the skin, so it brightens and plumps your complexion. So it's particularly good for those of us at our age. I would never say that it's an alternative to Botox, because that just is bang and it does it. But before a party, if you want to look brighter, if you use it over time, you will start to have a tighter, brighter complexion.
And that's why I can't wait to try this. So here you are the supplier to natrl. Joe and Ian Merry, husband and wife team based in the Aylesbury, and here it is. Here's their product. So why natrl? Why Ian and Joe? Why did you just decide to supply to them?
Purely because I think it was in the summer. I remember it was a hot day. I was in the Gerrards Cross market. I didn't even know there was a market. I went to do some grocery shopping for my parents who live in the area. And because I'm in the wellness industry and I love natural products, my eyes are lighted on their stall. And I started playing with their products, chatting to Ian, and then I thought he was a very, I don't want to say nice because it's a bland word, but he was very engaging. I liked his story. I liked his vibe. We were chatting. I liked his products. It just fitted into his ethos, chimes with mine. And I said, would you be interested in trying my mud? You don't have a mask product, and I sell it wholesale to people to use in all sorts of ways that they like. And I gave him a pack, sent him a pack, and that's where our relationship began, because he rightly realized how good it is. It really is. I mean, it's authentic, it's proper, it works.
So to me, that sounds like serendipity, Sophie. It really, really does. And yeah, nice is a good word. He's not just nice, he's lovely. And he's created a beautiful product. But I'd like to know a little bit more about you before we close. You know, what adventures are you going to have or have had that will become Sophie's stories of the future and now?
Well, my mud business is one of my businesses. I work very closely with women to help them reconnect with their innate feminine nature. I've worked in the wellness industry. You say a storyteller. I love that. I call myself a messenger. I started off as a journalist, and then I lived in Asia, and I wrote a book about the natural healing resources of Asia, and actually the spas, the tropical spas. And I'm very interested in indigenous healing cultures. And then I wrote my book about the natural healing cultures of Central and Eastern Europe, and we traveled from 12 countries to the Baltic to the Black Sea, where we alighted in Hungary. And as you said, you went to the Gellert baths. I don't know if you recognize the cover. That is a rather beautiful, ornate Art Deco swimming pool at the Gellert baths. I mean, in Budapest in the 30s, it was the Paris of the East. It was very glamorous, and the bathing culture was very sumptuous. Yes, I write and I work with women. I'm a mum of a certain age, and I really believe that we live in a patriarchy, and this whole rise of the feminine consciousness is coming to the fore now. More and more people are talking about it, and we have, through social conditioning, I mean, no fault of us, our own, us women have become very left brain. The male side, we're all male and female energy, but our male side has become quite dominant because we're surviving in a male dominated society, and we've lost touch, I think, with our innate feminine, which is our sensuality, our sexuality, our intuition, and we're very logical and goal orientated and purpose driven, and we've forgotten a little bit how to be and tap into our quiet power. So I do retreats and workshops around the world, and I do a very unique style of body work with women, where we focus a lot on the belly and go slowly and deeply, and helping women to reconnect with the peace and the power and the pleasure that's in our bodies. And we don't, this is our home, but we tend to live in the loft.
Crikey,
Well,
crikey. I'm feeling all sort of warm inside, right down there. Mind you, that's a whole different kind of video. Sophie, I'll definitely have to sign up, but how can we find you? What platforms are you on?
my website is my best, because that explains what I do and the events and workshops that I have. I do travel quite a lot, but I will be in Asia for the early part of, well, some early months of next year as a visiting practitioner with hotels in Bali and Thailand. I work with the Four Seasons and the Six Senses group, which are really beautiful hospitality brands. And then back here, I work with women. I do live in London, so most of my clients either come to me or I go to them, but I do travel too. And my workshops are here, and I have an online course too, which if you want to explore the somatic felt sensations, you can do it in your own time. And I teach people how to work with sound and breath and movement. We look at our genital anatomy. We do a recap of that area because we think we know it, but it's surprising how much more there is to learn. And we want to take ownership of our sexuality. I feel that quite importantly, and sort of get rid of the taboo. Like with the work that I do with women, touch is still shrouded in taboo. It's seductive or abusive often, but it's our biggest organ and we need to be touched. So I love to touch women. That's what my treatment, which I call massage, is called meditation in touch. It's being in touching presence with another woman. And it's just so powerful that when we sidestep this for a little while.
Many thanks, Sophie. Well, I'm just going off to have a look now because it's a long time. I need to be reacquainted with certain parts of my anatomy. But in the meantime, I think I'll start with this first. Sophie Benge, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much indeed. And take care and safe travels.
Thank you. And all the best to natrl. They're a great brand. I really enjoyed using their products.